Every year, millions of people spend money on mouthwashes, breath sprays, and expensive oral care products, all chasing the same thing: fresher breath and a healthier mouth. Yet one of the oldest remedies in the world costs just a few cents and is probably already sitting in a jar somewhere in your kitchen right now. Most people only think of cloves as something you toss into tea, biryani, or holiday baking. But researchers have actually been studying this small, unassuming spice for its effects on oral health, digestion, and inflammation for years. Today, we're going to walk through what the evidence actually says, where cloves come from, how they work in the body, who should be careful with them, and one old-fashioned method of using them that's been passed down for generations. Let's get into it. Cloves are actually the dried flower buds of an evergreen tree native to Indonesia, specifically the Maluku Islands, once known as the Spice Islands. For over 1,000 years, cloves were one of the most valuable trade goods on Earth, prized across the Middle East, South Asia, and eventually Europe, not just for flavor, but for their traditional use in supporting oral comfort and digestion. Long before modern dentistry existed, cultures from India to the Mediterranean were already chewing cloves or steeping them in hot water as a household remedy. That long history is part of why scientists became curious enough to actually study what's inside this little bud. Nutritionally, cloves are surprisingly dense for something so small. They contain notable amounts of manganese, a mineral involved in bone health and metabolism, along with smaller amounts of vitamin K and fiber. But the compound that gets the most attention by far is eugenol, an aromatic oil that makes up a large percentage of cloves' essential oil content and is largely responsible for its distinctive smell and taste. Eugenol has been studied for its antioxidant activity, meaning its potential to help neutralize unstable molecules called free radicals in the body. It's also been examined for antibacterial and antifungal properties in laboratory research. This is the same compound that gives clove oil its long-standing reputation in dentistry, and it's still found today in certain dental cements and temporary filling materials because of its numbing and antiseptic qualities. This is genuinely where cloves have the most research behind them. Eugenol's mild numbing effect is well documented, and one older clinical study found that a clove-based gel worked comparably to benzocaine, a common numbing agent, in easing gum discomfort before a dental procedure. Cloves have also been looked at for their ability to reduce certain bacteria linked to plaque, cavities, and gum inflammation, which is part of why some natural mouth rinses include clove extract as an ingredient. None of this means cloves replace a toothbrush or a dentist, but the oral health angle is the area with the most consistent scientific support. Traditionally, cloves have been used across many cuisines as what's called a carminative, meaning a substance believed to help ease gas, bloating, and general digestive discomfort after a meal. This is largely why you'll find whole cloves in rich, heavy dishes like biryani, stews, and mulled drinks. The idea historically was that they helped the body handle heavier food more comfortably. Modern research on this specific use is still fairly limited, mostly small studies and traditional use data rather than large clinical trials. So it's fair to say this benefit is promising, but not yet firmly proven. Before trying any home remedy, it's worth knowing who should be more cautious. Pregnant women are generally advised to avoid concentrated clove oil, since strong essential oils in general are often discouraged during pregnancy without a doctor's guidance. People on blood-thinning medication should also talk to their doctor first, since eugenol may have a mild effect on blood clotting at higher concentrated doses. Anyone with a known clove or spice allergy should obviously avoid it altogether. And undiluted clove oil should never be applied directly inside the mouth or on the skin, since in its concentrated form, it can cause irritation or even chemical burns. Whole cloves used in cooking in small culinary amounts are considered safe for most people. It's the concentrated oil form that requires real caution. Let's clear up a few myths. Myth 1. Cloves can cure infections on their own. They may have antibacterial properties in a lab setting, but that doesn't mean they can replace antibiotics or treat a genuine infection in the body. Myth 2. More clove oil means faster or stronger results. In reality, more concentrated oil simply increases the risk of irritation, not the benefit. Myth 3. Clove tea can unblock a stuffy nose the way a decongestant does. The aroma can create a refreshing sensory feeling by stimulating nerve endings in the nose and mouth, but it doesn't physically clear congestion the way medication does. You may have heard bold claims that cloves can get rid of joint pain or eliminate inflammation in the body. The more accurate picture is this. Some research suggests eugenol may help support the body's normal inflammatory response, and a handful of lab and animal studies have shown anti-inflammatory activity. However, more human clinical studies are still needed before anyone can responsibly claim cloves treat conditions like arthritis or chronic joint pain. It's a genuinely interesting area of ongoing research, but it's not yet a proven treatment. There are several traditional ways cloves are used, each with a slightly different intention. Clove tea, made by steeping a few whole cloves in hot water for several minutes, is one of the most common methods and is often used after meals. Cooking with whole cloves in rice dishes, stews, and mulled beverages is another traditional approach, where the spice slowly releases its oils into the dish over time. Some people chew a single whole clove directly, allowing the oils to release gradually in the mouth. And one of the oldest, lesser-known methods is holding a single whole clove underneath the tongue for a few minutes before gently chewing and swallowing it. This last method deserves a bit of explanation because the science behind it is genuinely interesting. The tissue underneath your tongue is one of the most highly vascular areas in the entire body, packed with small blood vessels close to the surface. This is actually the same absorption route doctors use for certain fast-acting medications, since it allows compounds to enter the bloodstream through the tissue of the mouth rather than waiting for digestion. Holding a whole clove under the tongue allows its natural oils to release directly into the saliva and surrounding tissue. Many people also notice this stimulates extra saliva production, and saliva itself plays a protective role in the mouth, helping wash away food particles, neutralize acids, and support enamel. If you'd like to try it yourself, one whole clove under the tongue for about 5 minutes, followed by gently chewing and swallowing it, is the traditional approach. As always, one clove is enough, and concentrated clove oil should never be used the same way. So, is clove a miracle spice? Not quite. And no single food ever really is. But it is a genuinely interesting, centuries-old ingredient with real, though still developing, scientific support, especially around oral health. Natural remedies like this can absolutely be useful, but they work best alongside a healthy diet, good oral hygiene, and proper medical advice when something feels genuinely wrong. If you found this interesting, let us know in the comments and share which method you'd actually try. Thanks for watching, stay curious, stay healthy, and I'll see you in the next video.